Ladies, let me tell you something that a lot of people miss when it comes to love and relationships. See, we always ask, am I enough? Do they see me as the one? But the truth is, it ain't about being perfect. It's about your behaviors, your consistency, and the energy you bring into someone's life. That's how a person knows you're the one. Not because of how you look, not because of what you got, but because of how you show up. When you're with the right person, it's not always going to be a fireworks show or this dramatic, over-the-top romance like in the movies. It's going to be about behaviors. It's the little things, the consistent things, the way you love someone through the hard moments, the way you show up even when you're tired, even when they don't say thank you, even when they act like they don't need it. That's the stuff that matters. That's what makes somebody stop in their tracks and say, hold on. This one right here, this one is different. This one is the one. See, being the one ain't about how cute you look in a selfie or how good you are at texting. It's about how real you are when the lights are off, when life gets heavy, when your partner feels like they're drowning and you become the air they didn't know they needed. That's the kind of behavior that makes a man look at a woman or a woman look at a man and say, I can't mess this up. This person is rare. You might think you're just being you, checking in on them, remembering the little details they mention in passing, being patient when they're moody, praying for them even when you don't tell them you're doing it. But that kind of love doesn't just come around. That kind of energy, that kind of presence. It doesn't happen every day. When you're showing love like that, you're not chasing attention. You're not doing it to be praised. You're doing it because it's who you are. And that kind of authenticity, that's how someone knows you're the one. And here's the truth. A lot of people out here don't even know what being the one looks like because they've never seen love in its raw, unselfish form. They've seen convenience. They've seen temporary pleasure. They've seen people who only show up when it's easy. But when you come into their life with peace, patience, and purpose, that hits different. That changes the game. Now, let's talk about what that looks like in action. When you support their dreams, even when you don't fully understand them, when you tell them, I believe in you, not just once, but every single time they doubt themselves. That's love. When you can be honest with them without tearing them down, when you can disagree without disrespecting, when you can argue and still make them feel safe, that's love. When you remember what matters to them and you protect that even when they forget it themselves, that's love. You don't need a parade every time you show up for someone. You don't need flowers or applause. You don't need a trophy. Your reward is in knowing that you loved right. And that kind of love, that kind of heart, that's what makes you the one. You become unforgettable, not because of grand gestures, but because of consistent love that doesn't waver. Because you make someone feel like they're not alone in this world. You're the one when you bring calm to chaos, when your words don't just sound good, they feel good, when someone knows they can count on you, not just for the good days, but especially when life gets rough. When you don't disappear when things get uncomfortable, when you stay, when you try, when you communicate, even when it's hard, when you choose them again and again, not just when it's convenient, but when it's inconvenient too. You don't need to shout your worth. You don't need to convince anyone that you're the one. Let your actions speak. Let your energy speak. Let the way you carry their pain like it's your own speak. Because real love isn't loud. It's steady. Real love isn't boastful. It's consistent. Real love doesn't give up when tested. It digs deeper. And when you love someone like that, with that kind of resilience and grace, You don't have to question your value. You already know you're the one. Now, here's what I need you to understand. Sometimes you'll be that person, the one who gives, who understands, who loves deeply, and you'll feel unseen. But I'm telling you, real recognizes real. Maybe not right away, maybe not loud and clear, but over time, they'll feel it. When the rest of the world walks away and you're still standing there with loyalty and love, it will hit them. It always does. Your worth will speak for itself louder than anything you could ever say. Don't change who you are just because they don't see it yet. Don't dim your light because someone else doesn't know how to receive it. Don't stop showing up because they're too distracted to appreciate it. If you're doing the right things, if your heart is pure, if your intentions are clear, keep going. You are already the one. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to prove it. You just need to keep being you. Lead, because when someone finally sees it, truly sees it, they're not going to let you go. And that's the real power of being the one. You don't announce it. You don't demand it. You just are. Quietly, steadily, unapologetically. You carry love in the way you listen, in the way you speak life into someone, in the way you stay when it's easier to leave. That's what being the one really means. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, being loyal, and showing love that doesn't fold under pressure. Keep loving like that. Keep standing tall, because someone somewhere is going to wake up one day and realize they had everything they ever needed in you. And when they do, they'll know exactly who you are. You're the one. When a person is truly the one, you don't have to chase them, convince them, or constantly beg them to see your worth. It's shown through your actions, through your consistency, and through your behavior when life gets tough. See, being the one isn't about the good times. It's about who you are when things don't go your way. It's about what you bring to the table when everything feels like it's falling apart. That's when true character is revealed. That's when someone realizes you're not just another person, they realize you're the one. People get so caught up in surface level things, looks, money, status, but all of that fades. All of that can disappear in a moment. What doesn't fade is the feeling you leave behind, the safety, the loyalty, the peace of knowing someone is in your corner no matter what. That's what being the one looks like. It's not about playing games, creating confusion, or keeping score. It's about being present, being dependable, being real. You're the one when you understand without always needing an explanation. When you forgive not because you're weak, but because your love is strong. When you check in, not because you have to, but because you genuinely care. When you celebrate their wins like they're your own and comfort them in their losses like you're feeling the pain yourself. That's not average behavior. That's not something people come across every day. That's rare. And when someone experiences that kind of love, they don't forget it. Sometimes the one isn't the loudest. They don't try to be flashy or force anyone to see their value. They just show up consistently, loving deeply, respecting boundaries, and giving peace. You don't even have to say much when you're the one. Your presence speaks for itself. Your energy speaks louder than words. You calm storms without trying. You love without holding it over someone's head. That's when people realize, this isn't just someone I'm dating. This is someone I can build with. This is someone I can trust when everything else feels shaky. You know, you're the one when you bring solutions instead of more problems. You don't add stress to their plate. You lighten it. You don't make them question your intentions. You show them through your consistency. When you listen to understand and not just respond. When you talk through things instead of walking away. When you respect their feelings, even when you don't agree, you are moving differently. You are showing up with love that isn't selfish. And that's exactly what makes you unforgettable. Being the one doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest, being kind, being strong enough to love with patience. There are going to be times when you feel like you're giving everything and getting little in return, but don't let that make you question your value. Sometimes the people we love are not ready to receive what we're offering. Sometimes they don't even know what to do with someone who's real. That's not your burden to carry. Your job isn't to force someone to see your worth. It's to keep being who you are. The right one will never overlook you. You can tell you're the one when you can love them through their flaws, not just their highlights. When you can sit with them in silence and still feel connected. When you can disagree and not lose respect. When you can make them feel safe even when they're not saying anything. When your presence alone gives them relief from the chaos of life. That's power. That's not average. That's someone who matters. So many people chase titles. Girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. But the truth is, if your behavior doesn't match those titles, then what's the point? You can call yourself anything you want, but what speaks louder is how you treat someone when no one is watching, when they're at their lowest, when they feel like giving up. If you can love someone when they're not easy to love, if you can be their light when they're surrounded by darkness, that's when you're the one. But that's when they realize you're the person they didn't know they needed. And let me say this, when you're the one, it doesn't mean you'll never walk away. Sometimes being the one also means knowing when to protect your peace. When you've done all you can and you still aren't being valued, sometimes the strongest thing you can do is leave with love. You can be the one and still choose yourself. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Real love doesn't make you question yourself daily. It doesn't drain you. It doesn't manipulate you. It builds you. It brings the best out of you. It makes you feel like you matter. And when you give that kind of love, when you pour that into someone day after day, that's not something they forget. Even if they don't recognize it right away, it sticks with them. It changes them. It opens their eyes to a level of love they may not have even believed existed. So if you've been loving right, showing up, being kind, being patient, holding them down, don't question yourself. Don't let temporary confusion make you doubt your value. Keep being solid. Keep being consistent, because the truth is, being the one isn't about being chosen. It's about being unforgettable. And when you love like that, when you carry yourself with that much heart and grace, no matter where life takes you, no one will ever be able to say they found another you. You're the one. Always have been. Being the one isn't about being perfect. It's not about having it all together or saying all the right things. It's about how you carry yourself in the small moments, how you respond when you're tested, and how you show love even when things don't feel easy. People often think being the one means being everything for someone, but really it means being yourself in a way that brings peace, not pressure. It's being that steady force in someone's life when everything else feels unstable. It's being the one who listens, the one who understands, and the one who doesn't quit when things get tough. If you're the one, you're not out here trying to prove it every day, you just are. You're thoughtful. You remember the things that matter to them. You give them space when they need it and closeness when they feel alone. You don't use love as a tool for control. You don't manipulate emotions to get what you want. Instead, you show them that love can be kind, love can be safe, love can be soft, but still strong. That's how someone knows you're not just a good person, you're the one. Sometimes people get confused. They think being the one means you're supposed to do everything right all the time. But that's not it. Being the one means you're honest about who you are. You own your flaws. You grow. You admit when you're wrong. You don't let pride stand in the way of connection. You care more about making things right than being right. That humility, that maturity, that's what separates you. That's what makes you stand out. Because anyone can say, I love you, but not everyone can show it when it matters. You're the one when you make someone feel like they don't have to be perfect around you. You give them a space where they can be vulnerable, where they can show the parts of themselves they usually hide. You don't judge. You don't mock their insecurities. You hold their heart with care. That kind of emotional safety is powerful. It's rare. And when someone experiences it, they won't want to let it go. You're not just there for the celebrations. You're there when they lose the job, when they get the bad news, when they question themselves. You remind them who they are. You build them back up when they're breaking down. You don't run when things get messy. You lean in. You bring calm to chaos, not confusion to calm. That's how they know you're not temporary. You're foundational. You're the kind of person people build with, not just date for a season. When you're the one, you don't just make promises, you keep them. You don't have to be reminded of your role in their life. You step into it naturally because love is not a performance for you. It's your nature. You check on them not because you're supposed to, but because you care. You speak life into them not just when things are good, but especially when they're struggling, to see their own value. You protect them, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. Your love becomes a safe place in a world full of uncertainty. And sometimes being the one means they don't see it at first. Maybe they've been hurt before. Maybe they've never had someone love them the way you do. Maybe they don't know how to receive it. But that doesn't change your truth. That doesn't make you any less valuable. Being the one is about who you are, not how they treat you. It's about the standard you hold, the love you give, the respect you demand, because you know your heart is rare. You're the one when your love is selfless, but not self-destructive. You give, but you don't lose yourself. You help, but you don't carry all the weight. You're loyal, but you're not blind. You love deep, but you're not foolish. You know how to set boundaries while still being kind. You know when to fight and when to walk away. You know that being the one doesn't mean forcing anything. It means aligning with someone who sees your value and meets you where you are. There's strength in your softness. There's wisdom in your patience. There's beauty in your consistency. You don't have to do anything extra to be loved. You just have to be seen by the right eyes. And even if they don't see it now, they will, because real love leaves a mark. The way you made them feel safe, the way you stayed when it was hard, the way you poured into them without emptying yourself. That doesn't go unnoticed forever. Eventually, people realize they had something special. They look back and realize no one else brought that same peace, that same loyalty, that same depth. You're the one when your presence feels like home, when your silence speaks louder than words, when you make someone feel like no matter what they face, they're not alone. You become a part of their growth, their healing, their journey. You love them in a way that makes them want to be better, not because you demand it, but because you inspire it. That's real love. That's rare love. And if that's how you show up, then believe me, you're the one. Always have been. When you're the one, you don't have to try too hard to prove it. Your actions speak for you. It's not about loud declarations or grand gestures. It's about how you move day to day, how you show up when no one's clapping, how you stay solid when others get shaky. It's in the quiet way you check on someone's heart without needing to be asked. It's in the way you speak life into them even when you're tired. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you the one. You don't build your love on conditions. You don't make people earn your loyalty every week. Your love doesn't come with a scoreboard. When you give, it's genuine. When you show up, it's because your heart's in it. You're the one because you bring peace, not pressure. You create a space where someone can breathe, where they can rest, where they feel seen, even in silence. You give without expectations and care without keeping count. And that kind of love, it's unforgettable. You're not waiting to be perfect to be valuable. You know who you are, you know your flaws, but you also know your worth, and because of that, you love with depth. You love with clarity. You don't hide your heart, and you don't pretend to be someone you're not. That authenticity is rare. Most people wear masks, but you show up real every time. That's why people remember you. That's why people come back, because you made them feel something real. You can tell you're the one by how you treat people when they're at their worst, when they're distant, moody, or shut down. And you still stay patient. You don't take it personally. You give them space, but you don't leave. You're gentle when others would be harsh. You're understanding when others would be frustrated. You offer grace when it's least deserved, because that's who you are. And that's exactly why your love hits different. You're not driven by pride. You're not keeping up a performance. You're not loving someone for what they can give you. You love them for who they are. You support their growth, even when it means letting them walk their path alone for a while. You believe in their potential. You remind them of their strength when they forget it themselves. You speak to their soul, not just their ego. You're not in love with a version of them. You love them fully, even in their mess. And even when you're hurting, even when your needs go unnoticed, you don't turn cold. You don't start playing games. You keep showing up, not because you're weak, but because your heart is strong. That strength, that ability to keep loving even when it's hard, that's what sets you apart. That's what makes you the one. You're not perfect, but you're intentional. You don't give up easily. You don't walk away at the first sign of difficulty. You stay, you try, you grow, and you communicate. But don't get it twisted. Being the one doesn't mean you'll tolerate being taken for granted. You know your value. You know when to stay and when to walk away. You love deeply, but you don't beg to be loved back. You can be loyal, but never to your own detriment. You don't shrink yourself to keep someone comfortable. You don't stay silent to keep the peace. You love with boundaries. And if someone can't meet you there, you'll wish them well and keep moving. That's strength. That's wisdom. That's self-respect. You don't need constant reassurance because you're secure in your heart. You don't create chaos, you protect peace. You don't seek attention, you offer presence. And when someone experiences that kind of love, they know it's rare. It might scare them. They might not be ready for it, but it leaves an impression. It sticks with them long after you're gone, because no one forgets the one who loved them right. Being the one isn't a title someone gives you. It's a reflection of how you love, how you show up, and how you carry yourself. You bring comfort, safety, and healing. You bring something real in a world full of fake connections, and that can't be replaced. That can't be copied. That's what makes you the one. Always has, always will.